So if you've been interacting with the Halo modding community lately, you'll see a lot of people talking about using Source 2's Hammer editor to make BSPs for Halo levels. Why is this happening? What's going on? Where did this come from? And is it even a good idea to use in the first place? So recently, Counter-Strike 2 has released, and the workshop tools for the game have also released. Of course, if you're familiar with Valve games, you'll know that they have what's called the Hammer editor that was from Source 1 and now is a part of Source 2 again, but has been updated significantly. And from what I've seen on Twitter, a lot of people have been praising about its workflow capabilities versus other game engines like Unreal, Unity, or Godot for that matter. Now you're probably wondering, how on earth did Halo modding and Source 2 map making come into contact with each other? Well, Hammer was brush modeling and everything was connected and sealed. And if you know anything about Halo modding, you know that from Halo 1 to Reach, you pretty much have to have a sealed world to have all the physics work and have all the player collisions be correct. And especially in Halo 1 and 2, which have extremely strict rules on how you design a level. Well, it looks like from what I gather is that Shawn T made a discovery when messing around with the Source 2 tools that you can export native FBX models, and with the FBX, you can actually import that with the newer tools released by 343 Industries for Halo modding. And sure enough, he was able to import a clean BSP with no errors whatsoever. And this just seemingly blew up on Twitter and in Halo modding discords as well. I've seen countless people trying to download the Source 2 tools, mess around with Hammer and see if they can import any custom content that they made in Source 2 or stuff that's from existing games like Counter-Strike, importing like Dust 2 to Halo. So what does this mean? Why would you want to do this? Well, first and foremost, Hammer's tools and workflow are really good. They're tried and true. They've been pretty much the same from its inception in Source 1, but have been improved upon as time has gone on. And with a lot of the newer import functions, like now being able to import FBXs and export FBX models, you can do so much now. But they still have the original BSP modeling tools with brush modeling in the tools. It's not really what is used anymore, it seems though, as the definitive way to make a level for Counter-Strike, but you can still do it. And people are saying, well, I'm gonna start blocking out my levels in Hammer and import that into Halo, essentially skipping the process of using Blender. So what is my take on all this? First and foremost, making stuff in Source 2 for Halo is not really what I would recommend. While it's super cool that Source can export to a native FBX and have clean geo for you to import in Halo 1 and 2 and 3 and so on, it, at the end of the day, is just a glorified blockout creation process. Really, you should be using Blender or 3ds Max for that matter, even though 3ds Max has less support for the mod tools at the moment. You should truly be using a proper modeling program because it will teach you the fundamentals of actually modeling, which in the long run will not only help you make content easier and look better, but it also grows your skill set as an artist. I toyed with Blender for years with rendering and just mesh editing, little stuff. But when I started modding Halo, that's when I really had to learn how to use this program and actually learn how to 3D model. And within the last 2 years, I've been able to learn UV unwrapping, modeling levels, and rigging. It's been super helpful, and I don't think I could have learned the way I did without actually having been forced to follow Bungie's strict modeling rules when it comes to Halo. I feel like if you're going to skip that process and use Source 2, it's just not gonna work to your favor. While I look at it as a band-aid fix to maybe a long-term problem of where you need to actually sit down and learn how to model. So my final takeaway on all of this is that while it's super cool that Source 2's Hammer editor can export native geometry that is clean and follows sealed world rules that Halo really likes and will give you no errors, it is just really not what you should be using for the long-term goals and abilities that your mod may need. I love Counter-Strike, it's a great game, and Source 2 is an amazing map maker. Tons of game engines in the industry can learn a thing or two with how blockout creation is done within this engine, and just the general workflow as well is just so much more game dev and maybe modder friendly. Whereas a lot of these engines that are really popular seem to struggle with these basic concepts. But when it comes to Halo modding, just stick with Blender or 3ds Max. It'll just save you in the long run. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Comment below if you like this video and if you'd like to see more videos like this, and make sure you give a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.